Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Masters of the Universe Classics, Scorpia. Look at the packaging first. As you can see, it does come in the ugly recycled brown Masters of the Universe Classics. The mailing box, get that out of the way. And here you have the figure herself, part of the Evil Horde. This is a figure that a lot of people are really looking forward to. One of the few remaining A-list characters. A lot of people were really curious to see how this one was going to turn out. As you can see, she is the stinging Horde enforcer, and she's got a really funny voice. That's one thing that always cracked me up. She's a girl, but sounds like a dude. So taking a look at the package, like I said, you got the very standard Master of the Universe Classics blister. You come around here to the back, and you got a lot of other characters that are part of the Evil Horde, including Shadow Weaver, which was the Eternia, or Club Eternia figure, Grizz Lore, the Horde Troopers, and they got the Spirit of Hordak on there as well. Then coming down here to the Bioform, we see that her real name is Linda Dream? Linda Dream, okay. And it says, after watching Hordak ruthlessly take over the kingdom of Brightmoon, Scorpia chose to surrender her Crimson Waste fiefdom, I don't know what a fiefdom is, to the new conqueror, hoping it was better to keep Hordak as an ally than an enemy. She's a member of the Scorpiani, sure, okay, a race of female-dominant warriors with claw-like hands and stinging armor tails. While a cunning warrior, she is inept in magic, always preferring hand-to-claw combat with her foes. Occasionally, she uses a powerful tank called the Crawler, which blasts sleep rays and sting lasers. When Hordak abandoned Etheria for a planet with greater natural magic, Scorpia stayed behind to rule her desert kingdom and hoping one day all of Etheria itself. She's got a lot more ambition than I remember her having in the cartoon. But beyond that, that's about it for the packaging. That's really all. I mean, she doesn't really come with much. She just comes with her like Horde crossbow sort of thing here. And yeah, it looks like she should be able to actually hold that. That's interesting. I'm curious to see how that's all going to work. But beyond that, that's about it for the packaging. So let's get her open and see how cool she actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Scorpia opened up and out of her packaging. And one thing that I gotta say about this is when I first opened the mailing box and I looked at this sculpt, I was absolutely impressed. Mattel and the Four Horsemen specifically have done a wonderful job of recreating that look that Scorpia had in the cartoon. This really does have a very authentic look to it. Now, looking at her accessory first, all the Horde figures come with a sort of a crossbow sort of thing that I guess is a little bit more tailored. For her, she does have one that's kind of done in this scorpion sort of look, where you can see like this is her, or the tail coming across the top. This is the I guess the claws around the side, and then the head. So it's really cool, and I like how they very creatively have taken that crossbow, despite it being different for all the other characters. It really is very nicely unique to the specific character that it's given with, and I think it works out great. So setting that out to the side, and the paint job on here is really nice too. It's a very nice deep blood red color. I really do like that. Now for the figure herself, again, really great likeness, as I said, to the actual animation model. Now you do got two different tones going here. You got a little bit more pinkish of a red that comes across the top, and this is a soft rubber, and you can feel that this is all rubber coming down to her actual tail. Like I said, this is a little bit more pink, and then you can see her little skirt thing here is a darker red. It's actually not as dark as her crossbow is, but you can see that there is a difference in the color. And then her claw arms here also had that same color as her tail bit. That's not really soft or anything. This whole section, though, you can feel is a rubber. Even up here, it feels like it's separate from the actual body. But a terrific sculpt nonetheless. Now, one thing that I'm having a problem with is it looks like her skirt on mine is kind of crooked. I have to stretch it over that way because it's not centered. When your legs are put together, you can sort of see, I don't know how well that's coming across, that this front section here sort of goes off to the left side of the figure. It bugs me a little bit, so I don't know if I just have to stretch that. This is all rubber too. Maybe I'll just stretch it over there or something like that. But you do have a very soft, pliable material here, which allows for a full range of motion with the legs. Moves forward and back. But yeah, you can see, especially when she's in the sitting down pose, that more of her skirt thing comes over on that side and it's not centered. That does kind of bug me. I don't know if this is a whole separate piece that I can rotate that around. I'm not 100% sure how that is really assembled in there, but it's something that bugs me just because when I look at it, that's what I see. I see it not centered, and that drives me nuts. But the face sculpt on here is really quite impressive. The paint with her eyes, the way that her head is actually shaped, it's all really very cool looking. The claw arms really are very well done, and it even looks like it's done where they're sculpted with a bit of a hole in there where maybe she could hold a weapon. Now, like I said, this doesn't actually, she doesn't actually hold this in her hand. I guess you could have her do it, but I just clip it onto her wrist. So, I mean, it does look like with the way that the claws are shaped that you could get her to hold something, but all that articulation is still there despite the arms being so radically different. She's got the shoulder joints which move in and out. They also rotate at the upper, well, this one's very stiff and it feels like it's gonna break, so we'll rotate this one. This one it's stuck. The paint feels like it's dried in a unfortunate spot, and you can see it's just going right back, but that's easily fixed. I'll put that in the freezer. It'll stiffen that joint, and then I'll be able to put extra pressure on it to rotate that around, so that's not that big of a deal. So it does rotate at that upper bicep cut, does bend here at the elbow, and then you do have the wrist articulation, which is nice to see. It does rotate all the way around, so she does have full articulation really in her arms. The waist rotates left and right. She doesn't have an ab crunch or anything. This is all one piece, so at least I think it is. Well, maybe it's hard to tell in there. As you can see, the hips move forward and back. They move in and out. They rotate at the upper part of the thigh. They bend at the knee, and then the boot cut that a lot of the figures have is not in this. I don't actually know why. I mean, maybe just because the boots are completely different on her than what we've gotten previously, so I don't think they could put that boot cut in there. But that does kind of suck that they took that little bit of articulation out. The ankles do move forward and back, but they do not they don't feel like they pivot in and out. Then you come around here to the back. This is all one piece except one section right down here, which does allow you to rotate her tail right at this joint right there. It is a soft rubber, so you can flex that around, but honestly, knowing Mattel, I would be very worried about the rubber on her at some point in time not holding up over time. That's really very unfortunate, but it is a great looking figure nonetheless, and for some reason she wants to look like she's leaning forward. And as I said, one of the few remaining A-list characters, I'm really surprised that it took so long to get her. You'd almost imagine that she'd be a bit of a slam dunk to be produced much sooner, and I really do like the tail. Like, the detail on the tail is really nice. Zoom in so that you can see that a little bit better. I mean, you can see a lot of little spikes and stuff on there. It gives a very realistic look to it, and then you got the little pokey bit right there. So that's really, really cool. Now, the unfortunate nature of things is because this is a Matty Collector figure, it's unfortunately sold out right now. But if you are interested in getting this figure, and I really would recommend it, if you're not a Club Eternia subscriber, or if you weren't able to get it on the day of the sale, there are methods that you can use to get this figure. One of those obviously being Big Bad Toy Store. So if you are interested in taking a look at her and possibly picking her up, as well as any other Master of the Universe figures, go ahead and click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to Big Bad Toy Store, where they have a whole bunch of these figures and a whole section just for Masters of the Universe Classics, that if you are one of those people that unfortunately miss out, which it seems to be more and more people nowadays, that's a good alternative for you to go to. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Keep in touch with me. Find out recent purchases as well as all upcoming video reviews all at facebook.com/teambotimus, and by following me over on Twitter at twitter.com/optibotimus. Also, don't forget to check out my new website at optibotimusreviews.com, where you can check out all my videos from the previous week, as well as see what I have coming up for future reviews. Also, don't forget, if you like this review, please rate, comment, and share this video. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.